Thinking about knocking down your conservatory and building an extension? It could cost you tens of thousands of pounds, but there might be a much more cost-effective alternative. In this video, we're comparing the cost of a full extension versus upgrading your existing conservatory and helping you decide which option actually makes the most sense. A lot of conservatories end up being underused. They're too cold in winter, too hot in the summer, and instead of being a proper living space, they often become somewhere you avoid or just use for storage. And because of that, many homeowners assume the only real solution is to knock it down and replace it with an extension. But that's not always the case. In many situations, you don't actually need to rebuild the space. You just need to improve it by insulating your conservatory properly. You can dramatically improve temperature control and turn it into a space that you can use all year round. Instead of something you avoid, it becomes a functional part of your home. So let's talk about costs, because this is where the difference becomes clear. For a typical conservatory upgrade, including professional insulation, you're generally looking at around £3,998 depending on size, system and the finish you choose, with CI Group to confirm exact pricing. Now compare that to a full extension. In the UK, a standard single-storey extension can cost anywhere from £20,000 to £50,000 or more, depending on size, materials and complexity. This includes labour, materials, planning and often several months of disruption. So in many cases, an extension can cost 5 to 10 times more than upgrading your existing conservatory. And the key question is, what are you actually getting for that extra cost? When it comes to how you use the space, an upgraded conservatory can often do exactly the same job. It can become a second living room, a dining area, a home office, a playroom, or even a relaxing garden space. For most day-to-day uses, it functions just like any other room in the house. However, there are some important differences to be aware of. One of the biggest is building regulations. Extensions require full approval, inspections and compliance with strict building standards, which adds both time and cost to the project. In contrast, many conservatory insulation upgrades can be carried out without going through the same level of regulation, making the progress much quicker and simpler. That said, it's important to understand the limitations. A conservatory, even when upgraded, can't usually be classified as a full habitable room, like a bedroom under building regulations. So that's something you need to factor in. There are also a few common mistakes to avoid. The first is treating it like a DIY job. Insulation needs to be installed properly to actually work. The second is going for the cheapest option available, because in many cases that just means you don't fully solve the problem. And the third is ignoring ventilation, which can lead to condensation or damp issues. Cutting corners here usually means you're paying for an upgrade without really getting the benefit. It's also worth saying that insulation isn't always the right solution. If your conservatory is in poor condition or the structure itself needs replacing, then insulating it might not be enough. In those cases, a full upgrade or rebuild could make more sense. In terms of performance, modern insulation systems have come a long way. Research from the University of Salford has shown that advanced insulation can reduce heat loss by up to 82%, lower heating energy use by around 30%. So while it may not be identical to a full extension, it can bring the space much closer to the comfort and usability of a traditional room. It's also worth noting that not all insulation systems are the same. Some are designed to a much higher standards, using multi-layer materials, advanced thermal technology. For example, CI Group's CRIS system uses a 6-layer aluminium quilt with technology researched and developed by NASA on the Apollo space shuttle. It's designed to reduce up to 90% of heat loss through the roof and help control the temperature all year round. That's why higher quality systems tend to deliver better long-term results. And this is where many people make a mistake. They either go straight to the most expensive option, like a full extension, or they choose the cheapest insulation solution available. But often the smartest approach sits somewhere in the middle. Because if your conservatory already gives you the space, upgrading it properly can deliver similar usability for a fraction of the cost. So, extension or conservatory upgrades. If you need a completely new structure or a fully regulated living space like a bedroom, an extension may be the right choice. But if your goal is to create a comfortable, usable room without the costs, disruption and complexity of building work, then upgrading your conservatory is often the more practical option. If you want help understanding what might work best for your space, drop a comment below and we'll point you in the right direction. For more information, check out the link in our bio to see how we can transform your conservatory all year round.